Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. A bit of box office news this Saturday morning. It is morning, isn't it? Yes, it is, just here. Insidious, The Red Door, trying to lock out Indiana Jones at weekend box office with $26 million Friday PM updates. This is from Deadline. Deadline Hollywood. As usual, link is in the description down below. And don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell. If you're subscribed already, I'm also on Rumble and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. Not that any bugger ever watches them. Even on YouTube. I don't care. I'm also on, what do I call it? The social medias, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Just a minute. It's moving stuff about because I'm so professional. Links are in the description for all that, as I've links to my 2 books, Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff like that. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats roaming around North Yorkshire, eating people and stuff. It's all good fun. Give it a whirl on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Kindle's cheaper. Paperbacks, especially the Mercury Rapids one, it's a bit pricey. I can't do anything about it. They won't let me lower the price. But Silent Predators, reasonably priced for paperback, and even more so for Kindle. Right, so let's get this news story up. What are we talking about? Here it is. Insidious, The Red Door, trying to lock out Indiana Jones at weekend box office, $26 million 5 PM update. From Anthony D'Alessandro. Right, Friday afternoon update. Or Saturday morning, if you're here. Sony Stage 6 films Blumhouse's Insidious, The Red Door. By the way, I'm a huge fan of the Insidious films. I love the first one. The others, less so, but I still enjoy them. But the first one, I think, is amazing. Is looking to scare Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny away from number 1 after putting up the franchise's best previews last night with $5 million. It's already knocked off number 1, isn't it? I thought... I forgot the name of the film, Sound of Freedom. I thought that had knocked it off the number 1 spot. Maybe I'm wrong. Right now it's looking like $13.25 million today, Friday I presume, including previews for the Patrick Wilson starring and directed horror Fifth Quill. Fifth Quill. With a $26 million take at 3,188 theatres. Indie is seeing $8 million in its second Friday, which means it's been out a week-ish. 66% down for a weekend swing between $24 million and $26 million at 4,600 locations. So it's a lot more potential eyes it's in front of. Anyway, down 59%. What does that mean? I've no idea. I don't know. Numbers baffle me. Too close to call at this point per both studios. Insidious is front-loaded and indie... What does that mean? That's the thing with Deadline. They use these terms that nobody apart from people at Deadline understand. Especially me. Insidious is front-loaded and indie could pull in families on Saturday. However, many rivals are already calling Red Door the winner. Still, even if Red Door falls to number 2, another great opening by a horror film post-pandemic, especially for Sony, which hasn't had a big win in genre for quite some time. What are they talking about? Have they forgotten all about Spider-Man? The various Spider-Man, the Spider-Man live-action, Spider-Man cartoon, Into the Spider-Verse, whatever the hell it's called, Across the Spider-Verse, whatever. They've forgotten about that, haven't they? Deadline, you're idiots. Not to mention a beefy cash cow given the Wilson and Rose Byrne picks $16 million production cost before P&A. What the hell's P&A? No idea. Do they mean marketing? Is that what P&A means? Marketing. Why did they just say that? What can P&A mean? I've no idea. Something in advertising, maybe? Post-production and advert. I've no idea. I don't know. Because it's Deadline and nobody understands their... lingo. At the highest end of its projection now, Indie's running total could rise to $120.7 million by end of day Sunday. I know that one. Coming in sixth place is Lionsgate's new entry Joyride with a low tank of gas at $2.6 million today, including $1.1 million from previews, and an estimated $5.6 million 3-day at 2,820. I presume that means theatres. This despite great reviews promptly out of its South by Southwest premiere, I know that one as well, of 91% certified fresh. Angel Studios' Jim Caviezel thriller Sound of Freedom is ringing $4.75 million in its fourth day of release, a 3-day of $15 million, and 6-day haul of $36.3 million at 2,850 theatres. Are you ready for this? I've just glanced ahead to see what this says. Hollywood might have a problem with right-wing groups snapping up tickets and handing them out to moviegoers, but Exhibition is over the moon with the dough. They're trying to make out that it's Sound of Freedom is, some tinfoil hat conspiracy thriller, when it's not. It's based on a true story, and if it's about child trafficking, basically, and and if you're against that, then there's obviously something wrong with you. Against, a film, if you're against a film about child trafficking that's bringing that to light, then there's obviously something wrong with you, isn't there? Hollywood. Disney Pixar's Elemental is seeing a fourth Friday of $2.6 million, down 24%, for a fourth weekend of $8.4 million, down 31%. So, how can it be 24? And running total by Sunday of $107.9 million. Deadline absolutely baffles me when they're doing this stuff. The normal stories that they run are fine, but it's when they're doing this sort of technical things that baffles me. Right, Friday AM, Sony, we've just seen that, we just read all this, haven't we? I think. Right, yeah, well, we'll carry on. So, blah, blah, blah. Insidious Red Door, nearly locked out. Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny yesterday at the box office. This was Friday morning. It scared up $5 million, we've just learned that. That amount of money is very close to what Indie grossed. Early estimates showing around $5.2 million for the day in an awful week that ended at $94.5 million for the $300 million plus grossing. Do they mean? What do they mean grossing? I think they mean costing. That's what it cost, not grossed. It's not going to grow. I think it might be lucky to gross that. Disney Lucasfilm finale sequel. Doing the best of Hollywood to push up Indiana Jones, aren't they? Even though it's not a good film. It's not the worst film ever made, but it's not a good film. Insidious is big with women under 25. What? If you say so. I must be a woman under 25 then. Fair enough. Indiana Jones with older men. Which is not true either. Lots of women want to go see Indiana Jones because they want to go see Indiana Jones. They want to go see Harrison Ford because he's still, even at 80, women like to see him probably with his shirt off. He looks better with his shirt off at 80 than I do with my shirt on. At 56, I nearly forgot my own bloody age then. Red Door posted the best previews ever for an Insidious movie, beating 2018's Insidious The Last Key, which was 1.98 million, and the 1.6 million which Insidious Chapters 2 and 3 earned apiece. Indie, with its PLFs, what's a frigging PLF? I've no idea, and IMAX screen holds, is expected to ease around minus 60% per industry estimates with $24 million, but don't underestimate the vibrant power of the Red Door, which tracking has around $22 million. It's going to be a fun July hangover weekend before Paramount/Skydance light the wick on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 on Wednesday. That said, I think it opens earlier in the UK. I'm sure I saw Az saying he's going to go see it on Monday. Maybe there's previews, I don't know. That said, remember horror movies are front-loaded. That phrase again. What the hell does front-loaded mean? I've no idea. And apt to drop on Saturday. That said, Insidious The Last Key saw a minus 13% dip on its first Saturday against Friday, which included previews. All films bloody dip, don't they? Especially horror films, I suppose. 2013's Insidious Chapter 2 owns the highest opening for a movie in the 13-year-old horror franchise with $40.2 million. However, the fourth quill, Insidious The Last Key, did great off its $10 million production cost with a $29.5 million start. Already, Indiana Jones' first week at 4,600 theatres is ahead of No Time to Die's $75.2 million, the pick finale at $160.8 million. I presume at the end of its first, I don't know. I have no idea. But I think No Time to Die came out kind of, not mid-pandemic, but not far off. I mean, it might have been mid-pandemic. So that's why. Because a lot of theatres were shut and people weren't going out, really, were they? Anyway, remember the 007... Oh, there we go. Remember the 007 finale opened at a time when everyone was still skittish about returning to cinemas during the pandemic. Critics were never big on Insidious movies. I love them. The first one was 66% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but the last one, 2018's Insidious The Last Key, notched 33%. Critics don't like horror films generally. Obviously, there's some exceptions, but I think the Insidious movies are great. I love them. I think I did Insidious in my Friday Night Appointment with Fear a while back. Check the playlist, it's in there somewhere. Still, the franchise has never been cursed by reviews to the point where it can't be a cash cow, which is why they've done 5 of them. Red Door costing $16 million before P&A. Critics gave the last chapter here, which also stars series star Rose Byrne, a 45% rotten. That's it. It's meaningless, really. I mean, we can laugh at the scores we see on Rotten Tomatoes and, use them when it suits us. But as a rule, you don't pay any attention, do you? Really. While Rotten Tomatoes audiences currently have it at 72%, which is higher than the original film, 62, and Last Key, 50. Lionsgate and Point Grey's Joyride also held previews last night and Wednesday at 6 p.m, which amounted to $1.1 million. The Adele Lim-directed raunchy R-rated Asian American comedy is looking at $7 to $9 million at 2,820 locations. Comps. Does this mean comparisons? Probably. Deadline. R-rated Girls Trip back in 2017 did $1.7 million in previews, but Joyride isn't expected to follow that box office path, which had a $31.2 million opening. Joyride's extended preview here are higher than last summer's Joe Coy Asian American comedy Easter Sunday, never heard of, which was a PG-13 and made $500,000 for a $5.4 million opening weekend. What else is going on? Angel Studios' Jim Caviezel thriller Sound of Freedom, which for some reason I thought was a Mel Gibson film, but it isn't. Don't know why I thought that. After posting an $11.5 million July 4th opening day, that's where that's where I've seen it. On July 4th, it beat Indiana Jones. I'm sure that's what I saw. Plus lopping on another $2.5 million in crowdfunded dollars. Fell like a rock on Wednesday with $3.6 million, with down 69%, but held steady on Thursday with an estimated $3.5 million at 2,634 theatres. Remember, Indiana Jones is at over 4,000 theatres, and it's, not making as much. Essentially, down 5% from Wednesday for a running Tuesday to Thursday total of $21.3 million, and I think its budget's not a lot. I think it's probably easily made its budget back. It wouldn't be shocking if the Pix total gets to $30 million by Sunday. The box office phenomenon here is that there's a lot of right-wing group money pouring into the crowdfunded Pick, with moviegoers getting free tickets. Ticks. Deadline. Still, it's business for movie theatres. It's a load of bollocks, is that? That is a load of nonsense. Disney Pixar's Elemental was third on Sunday at 3,650 with $2 million, plus 4% from Wednesday, but second for the week with the third sesh. I hate Deadline. I'm going to hate Deadline. Of $22 million ahead of Sony's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse's $21.2 million fifth week. Elemental stands at $99.4 million in running time. Running cume, sorry. Or cume. What the hell does that mean? No idea. While Spidey is at 349.6. There you go. The latter's Thursday was 1.75 million, down 6% from Wednesday at 3,405 theatres. Fifth Thursday was Sony's Jennifer Lawrence R-rated comedy No Hard Feelings, with an estimated $970,000, down 11% from Wednesday, for a second week at $13.3 million and running total of $35.1 million. The movie has already surpassed the domestic gross of Sony's R-rated bawdy Scarlett Johansson comedy Rough Night, which finaled at $22.1 million. There we go, that's that nonsense article. Just blah, 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 lingo, don't know, what the hell does Kumi mean? No idea. Oh, God. Stick with OMB reviews. If you want in box office reporting, stick with OMB reviews. Ignore me, I don't know what I'm talking about. So there we go. So basically, Insidious is outdoing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny at the moment. And so is Sound of Freedom, to be completely honest. Compared to its budget, anyway, at least, if you want to look at it that way. Right. So enough of that nonsense. I'll get back to my Saturday. Right. Thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say the...